gentlemen, this man is not only an esteemed solicitor, comedian and rent boy, he's also a storyteller. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, give the clap to Danny Beet!
We're back to last week, mentioned that I just look at this sheet and all those dirty stains and I still think I'm going to get a sexually transmitted disease. Tonight I'll set off with a clap. Now, where are we going? Oh, this week something funny happened. The policeman had a sense of humour. I went to the police station, I got to see my client, so I got to the custody sergeant and I said, have you got the details of my client, officer? And he picks up, said, yes, I got him. He's the one robbed the coast. Loads of condoms. I said, yeah, that's him. He said, I hope you don't mind me asking, sir, but do you think you'll get a stiff sentence? Policeman with a sense of humour. Lawyer, smart reply. That question's an hard one, officer. Have we got a better last one, mate? Never mind. Now, one of the things I was telling you last week was about the police brutality and how it used to exist before 1986. Then I went out and got a slight conscience and I thought, was I truly right about the wonderful West Midlands Police Force? So I looked it up. And if you look on Wikipedia, Birmingham 6, you can read all about it. And not only did they beat them up physically, they mentally tortured them and burnt them with cigarettes. And
Facts.
And had pretend executions, all to get them to confess. And it never came to light till about 20 years after. They appealed and lost and all sorts of things. And 20 years after, older policemen developed consciences as to what they'd seen. And they started to make statements as to what they'd seen. And lo and behold, it was all true. And subsequently they were all released on appeal. Well, just telling you that, so I'll cover my ass for what I said. I'm going to tell you something weird tonight. And it's just a story. And that's all it is. So it's a story about a murderer. And I suppose many of you have not murdered, but you've got a preconceived idea of what they look like. I've done a few and none of them look the same. You can't just look at somebody and think he's a murderer. Went to Wolverhampton Crown Court to do a bail application. And standing there was a solicitor and a barrister. And what they were doing, they were trying to get the man in the dock. He got solicitors. He had 3 solicitors already and fell out with all of them. And they have to make an application to the judge to transfer solicitors because the legal aid has to be transferred, which is public funded. And the judge has to give it consideration. But I don't want things transferred to me because I already know that client's a pain in the arse. He's moaning, groaning and complaining, and I'm just going to inherit a problem, so I really don't want to know. But sadly, I knew the judge, and he saw me sitting there, and he said, Mr. Beet, would you be prepared to assist the court? Well, you'd love to tell him to fuck off, really, because he's asking you to volunteer for a bag of shite. But you can't do that, so, certainly, Your Honour, I'm thinking, bastard. And he got it transferred to me. So this bloke's already been charged, he's been in the police, he's done everything, and he's currently in the green. But he's got something like leukemia, but it wasn't actually leukemia, the same sort of thing. And he has periods when he's really ill, and they have to take out the blood that's in his body and put other blood in. And by the time I got the papers and read them and was ready to go and see him, he was in City Hospital. So I have to go to City Hospital. And I get there, and there he is, he's lying on his bed, a black fella. He was the whitest black fella I've ever seen. He really looked ill. And he was chained to the bed. And we were 3 floors up. He's chained to the bed, and on the other side, he's chained to the prison officer. And there are 2 more prison officers there. One standing outside, and one in the room. So you've got 3 prison officers and he's chained. So I say, well, okay lads, you can leave now. What? I said, you're not going to stay here. It's a private consultation, me and my client. Not for your ears. Yeah, but we've got to guard him. I said, well, you have to guard him from the outside, because you ain't staying here. Oh, I can't do that, sir. We're staying. No, you're not. Yes, we are. Can you find the governor? So I ended up speaking to the governor, and I said, Governor, you can't do this. I know you've got a duty to keep him in there, but he ain't going nowhere because he's in the right mess. He's got tubes and all switched onto electrical equipment, and we're on the 3rd floor. So he can't jump out the window. So eventually, the governor agrees, and we have to wait for chains to turn up from the prison. And they come with about 30 yards of chain. So he's still chained to the officer, but now the officer is on the other side of the door, 25 yards away, together with the 2 officers, so we can have our consultation. Now, I expect this bloke to be awkward, because he's been awkward with everybody, and I ain't no different to anybody else. And he says, you're a bit different. I said, what do you mean? He said, what you just done. You throw them all out. I said, well, I can't talk to you in front of them, because whatever they hear, they can repeat. And we're going to talk about the offence, and they could end up giving evidence against you. So it makes sense that I don't allow it. Yeah, but I've never seen anybody do anything like that. I mean, they're prison officers, and you just kicked them out. And I said, yeah, great. He said, I like you. Well, I could have took comfort from that. However, I wasn't too impressed, because the person he murdered was his best friend. So liking me really didn't inspire me. So we start talking about it, and it's clear that he's done it. He's killed this bloke. And he starts having confidence in it, and we're chatting. And he starts to tell me all about it. And basically what happened, he got a mate, and he lived in the back country, and his mate was dependent on him, because my bloke was a dealer. He dealt drugs, simple as. And this one night, this kid goes round for more drugs. And my mate said, look, we're mates, but you ain't paying. This ain't a free service. He said, I can't just keep giving you drugs. You got to pay. Oh, hang on, we're mates. Yes, we are. But that don't mean to say I'm going to finance you a drug addict. Pay me or tell me when you're going to pay me the money you owe me. And the kid got quite upset and said, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. My client, what does it mean? You were the one that got me on the drugs. Now, for reasons best known to himself, that really pissed my client off. I found out why after spending a few £1,000. He was a paranoid schizophrenic, complete loss of psychopath. And his mind worked different to yours or mine. And he drew the conclusion that if this kid honestly thought that he, my client, had got him into drugs, then he was going to sort him out. And he did. He killed him. Couldn't proper, with his bare hands. And now he's there in his house with a dead body in the oven. What's he going to do? I can't leave him there. Anyway, his missus is around, and she helps him to take the body out and put it in the big rabbit hutch in the garden. So now he's got a rabbit hutch with a dead body in it, and his missus cleared up the blood and everything. And he didn't know this at the time, but he knew that his friend wasn't well liked, known, and he was homeless, so nobody really missed him when he was no longer with us, and he was actually in his rabbit hutch. So for a while, he left him in the rabbit hutch, knowing he couldn't leave him there forever, but he couldn't think what to do with him. And bonfire night's coming up, so he has this brilliant idea. We'll set him out of the rabbit hutch, bonfire night. That should get rid of it. So, got loads of firelighters, half a gallon of petrol, poured it all over the rabbit hutch and set fire to it. Smashing, glowing fire. Then all of a sudden, the most awful, horrendous smell, like a mass barbecue. Oh gosh, flesh burning, it was awful. And he said to his missus, shit, I'll never get this aboard. We're going to get in trouble, they're going to smell it. Oh, people are going to know. Let's put it out. So they spend the next 20 minutes off throwing water all over the rabbit hutch. And when he wakes up in the morning, he's got a rabbit hutch, a bit charred, with a body inside it, a bit charred. So he hasn't solved his problem at all. But because this bloke is not missed, I don't know if the police were told that nobody had seen him, but they weren't doing anything active to find him. Because if they would have done, they would have gone to my client and said, hey, have you seen your best mate lately? But they never. So he's not having any hassle. He's just got a dead body and a charred rabbit hutch and a problem. And he goes out one day and he gets inspired. He pops across to a piece of green area, like a park, and he's walking around, and slap bang in the middle is a load of holly bushes, totally impenetrable. And he thought, that's an idea. So he decides to move the body and stick it under the holly bushes. And he does this. Goes out at night with the body, puts it under the holly bushes, and almost forgets it's there. This is November time. And we've got January, February, March, April. And he just so happened to be walking in the park in April. And he thought, oh, I'm going to look for him, thinking, quietly sneak over. And when he gets there, the holly bushes are still there. And so are thousands of fucking flies. Thousands of flies, and he thought, oh, shit, I'm going to get caught, I'm going to have to think of something. Anyway, he's just about to walk away when his world collapses. The council turn up with all their lawnmowers and they're going to mow the grass. And if they get near any of them bushes, they're going to see all them flies and they're going to start wondering, and maybe they'll look, and if they look, they're going to find the body. Panic. But luckily, council, working to council rules, finish at 5 o'clock and bugger off home, and never got as near, or very near, to the bushes. So that night, late again, over to the bushes, drags the body out and takes it home. Now, he's been messing about with his body for 6 months. This is not a planned murder and body disposal. And he's stuck, and he can't work out what to do. He's got to do something. So he decides, best thing, you can't just dump a body or cut it up. So he cuts it up into manageable chunks. And then he went round canals, drains, anywhere he liked, and dropped a bit off. Dropping it down there, a leg over there, whatever. But sadly, people started to find him. And it weren't long before somebody found the hands and the head, and the police could analyse it, and guess what? They worked out who it was. So now it's no longer a missing person, it's a murder inquiry. They do tend to get the finger out, and they arrested my bloke. Because he was his pal, they knew he sold drugs, he knew the kid took drugs, and they guessed that he owned him down. And it's a long story, but eventually it's him, and he sort of admits it, but he's not getting any help, and the solicitor's giving some bad advice, which was why he was all anti-solicitor. But I was lucky, I didn't have to give it, it's all happened by the time I got involved. So he's going to plead guilty, but he's not going to cooperate. And they're being a bit sneaky, because he's got a girlfriend who's to die for, really is to die for. And he's very much in love with her. And she don't know he's a psychopath at this time. She's in love with him. But he's dangerous, she knows he's dangerous. But the police are saying, if you don't cooperate and tell us everything we need to know, we're going to include your missus in the inquiry, and we'll charge her with aiding and abetting a murder or with disposal of a body. Take your pick. Now, he don't want that happening. So he's getting me to do what I can to get the police off his back, even if it means he has to plead guilty and tell them some of the things they want to know. And it's going on and on and on. And one of the things they really badly wanted to know was, how'd you cut the body up? They took every knife and every saw and every axe out of his house and sent it to forensic scientists for them to match the bits of the body with the knives and the saws and the axes to try and find out which one or what one he used. And they couldn't find out. And each one was charging thousands of quids, and just nobody knew how he chopped it up. And his act of defiance was, I ain't telling you, work it out. And they couldn't. And it did cost thousands and thousands of pounds. And it went on, and I had to have him examined by a psychiatrist, because a lot of it was a bit iffy. And you have, when you're balmy, you have options. And you can say, well, I did murder him, but I'm balmy, so you can't do me for murder. Lock me up in a mental institution till I'm better. But unfortunately, when the psychiatrist said him, he is a psychopath. Very, very dangerous. And he's not curable. His illness is controllable, but he's never going to be cured. So if he volunteers for this, don't do me for murder, lock me up in a mental home, he knows he ain't coming out. That's forever. So he doesn't want to do that. So we're definitely now going down the path of him just pleading guilty and taking his chance. But to get to the stage of finding out he was a psychopath, I had to find out things about him, so I had to talk to him. Very personal conversations. And because he trusted me, he would talk to me. And some things came out, particularly the girlfriend. Now, he did adore her, and he didn't beat her, and he wasn't horrible to her. But he knew that he was going to spend a lot of time in prison, and it was unlikely the local studs in West Brom would not try the luck with her, and maybe one of them would succeed. So I said, well, how do you feel about that? He said, I ain't really happy. He said, but what can I do? She's entitled to a life. So I'll just live here. I'll be in prison, she's got a boyfriend. However, when I come out, he will definitely be moving out, because I'm not going to let him fuck off. And if you don't go voluntarily, I'll make him go. Oh, serious, and he was serious. Psychiatrist saw him and came to that conclusion, and he said, I wish I'd met him years ago. I said, why? He said, my marriage would never have lasted as long as it did. I said, why? What would you say that? He said, did you know he had a fetish when he comes to women? I said, no, how would I know? He said he did. And he used to get them different birds before he settled down with this woman. And he used to get them home, and he used to talk her into having a bath. Maybe prelude to sex. But then he got his buzz because he used to go to the bath and hold them under the water till they passed out. And he used to work out how long it took for a woman to pass out under water. Fetish. Psychiatrist said, God, if I don't know that, Mum, this is the cleanest woman I've ever and out of my life a lot quicker. Another thing he did, he'd had a missus, and they lived together, but they parted. And like the law these days, 50-50 down the middle. Half the house, half of this, half of that, half the other. And they had a dog and a snake. And they couldn't agree between them who was going to have the dog or who was going to have the snake. And he solved the problem. He chopped them both in half and sent her off the beach. A complete nutter. Utter nutter. But he carried on, and we went to court, and he pleaded guilty. And there weren't a lot you could say about him. And you had to be careful what you did say, because you couldn't hint to the judge that he's a complete crackpot, because he'd want to lock him up forever. So I think he got 16 or 18 years for what he did. And I went to see him, and he said, thank you very much. And I said, great. Normally when people get 16 or 18 years, they don't thank me. But he said, I'm so glad I'm not in the mental institution. So he was quite grateful. I said, do us a favour. Tell me something. And he said, what do you want to know? I'll tell you. I said, these bodies, you know they spent thousands and thousands of pounds trying to find out how you cut them up. And you wouldn't tell them. And he said, no, fuck them. Fuck them. They were playing hardball with me. I knew they wanted to know. Broke it on. Spent another few thousand quid. So I said, yeah, but I want to know now. Come on. Tell me, how'd you do it? How'd you cut them up? What did you use? Answer. He bought a saw from Plough Road for £1. Cut it up and threw it in the canal with parts of the body. So to this day, all them coppers are wondering, how did he do that? Oh no, he did it. But like, would it make me feel any better if I knew? But how weird is that? And what a weird man he is. And was that entertaining? Was that boring as fuck?
Brilliant, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
No, I'm not having a laugh. It's just, you do these things, you wonder if people
I was listening, I thought it was good.
I was, yeah, it was
transfixed.
nice bit of language as well.
What bit of language? Oh, well, I did spare a bit. What can you do? I've done a few murders, and he was probably the coldest. But the important thing is that, like most murders, you got all these stories that make fantastic books, and you've got Patricia Cornwell and Frost and all these things. Most murders in reality are not planned, they just happen. Very few. I mean, there was a bloke the other week, he planned it. He got his wife to do parachute lessons, and then she was allowed to jump unfettered. He packed the parachute and missed an important bit out, so she jumped out and made an 8-foot deep hole in the ground.
And survived.
Yeah, but they don't all plan. Anyway. What, shall I stop? Carry on.
You'll do another one after?
Another one after. What, as long as he's on me next Friday. Yeah, I'll do another one after.
That was the funniest thing you said.
See? You've got to watch these silent but deadly. They're a bit like farts. They're there, but you never know when they're going to show up. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen.
You got any puns?
I've got a poem.
With puns in?
Sort of-ish. Yeah, my great-great-uncle, Bowie Dick, couldn't stop a pig up an entry. He was a tatter, and he used to tell me a poem. And this week I found out where he come from. I've always never heard it before, but it's simple. Right? You got to do it quick, because it's old musical bloke called Harry Champion, who wrote All Beef and Carrots. So it's years old, it's years old. Mother had a donkey kept in the yard one day. It was snowing very hard. Mother got the one donkey in for a woman. Can the donkey big one's ear? Thought he was a cabbage leaky chandelier. Mother got forks, took in the house, took look at father's house. Open it up. There you go. My only ever attempt at parachute.
Hey!